Attending a homeschool convention can be inspiring, educational, and you can find a great support system. Plus, I created a list with the links to almost every homeschool convention that's happening this year. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. 5 reasons you should attend a homeschool convention. Plus, I created a list with the links to almost every homeschool convention that's happening this year. If I missed any, hey, write me and I will add those to the list. So, homeschool convention season is upon us and it will go through the end of July. Get prepared. Homeschooling has become increasingly popular in recent years. Many parents who are considering homeschooling, new to it, or who are pros, find that attending a homeschool convention is an amazing experience. Why are so many families choosing to homeschool? 1. Customized education. Homeschooling allows you to individualize the way the lessons are taught, the information that is covered, and the time that it is done. This creates much more interest for the children. 2. Religious beliefs. Many families want to match their children's education with their religious beliefs. They can choose curriculum that does this more easily in a homeschooling environment. 3. Safety concerns. Families feel that they can better protect their children from violence, bullying, and safety issues that those children may see in a public school environment if those children are at home. 4. Academic success. Because of the ability to tailor-make and individualize education, many believe that homeschool students can advance much more quickly than in a traditional setting. 5. Flexibility. When you have a bunch of different kids, and they all have different schools because you have the elementary, the middle school, and the high school, some parents are driving their kids to different schools, and then you have work schedules. It's really hard for everybody to get the same vacation. When you homeschool, you can take learning on the road. There's actually a term, I believe it's called road schooling. You can take extended vacations, and then during the summer, instead of having the summer off, you can use some of that time for homeschooling. Your entire schedule is flexible. If you have children who learn better at night, you can actually have homeschool at night. So the flexibility is very attractive to a lot of people. What if you are unsure whether you want to homeschool? So many people, especially now, are in your shoes. You will not know if homeschooling is a good decision for you until you do a little research. Ask questions from people who are in it and learn about it. I think you will want to join a local Facebook group. There's so many homeschool groups, like you have the state homeschool group or all of these ones, but a lot of times you have a local Facebook community that is just for homeschoolers. And this is imperative because you learn what obstacles your community is facing. You can ask about a lot of the laws, a lot of those questions that you may think are really big and daunting. You can just post right up there on Facebook, and a lot of people have already faced that and they already know the answer. You'll also want to know if people are meeting, what curriculum that they're using. A lot of these people are doing co-ops, or they're doing planned days where the kids get together for activity days, all kinds of things. You will also want to attend a homeschool convention so that you can immerse yourself in vendors, seminars, and people who are in that world. Why would I want to attend a homeschool convention, you ask? Well, whether you are considering or are brand new or you have been a homeschooling pro, a homeschool convention is a great way to recharge, renew, and get ready for the new year. There are a lot of vendors that you can talk to about their curriculum and how it benefits different learning styles. They can also show you, and this is really important, how much involvement you will need to do as a parent, and how are you going to assess that work that is done. This is especially important in writing, and I will get to that later. You also need to know how your child's skills are going to grow. So if you're sticking with that curriculum, say from year to year, and I actually do advise that you find one that you really love and you see how they grow your child in those set of skills. But you can talk to the vendors right then. 2, networking. You get to meet other parents who are feeling exactly the way you are, and if you're new, you can meet other parents, talk to them, and say, hey, what did you do that you wish you had done differently? And they can say, oh my heck, been there, done that, and these are the things that I loved, and these are the things that I just wish I could do differently. This is invaluable. So there's so much benefit to just talking to others and learning from them. 3, learn. Most homeschool conventions have opportunities for learning. For example, they have classes or seminars, and you can participate in these, and that's just usually part of the price of the convention. I recommend that you get these early and you map out which ones you really want to attend so that you have time to go to the vendors, you have time to see the seminars, and all of those kind of things, because it goes by really quickly. There's so much to do. Encouragement. It is important to have a circle of support. In anything you do, homeschooling is no different. You will face obstacles. You will encounter triumphs, and you're just going to want to bounce different ideas. Meeting other like-minded individuals where you can form support circles, this is invaluable. Are you convinced you should attend a homeschool convention, but you're not sure how to prepare for it? 1, research the convention. Know the days, the times, and the location from the website. Check out the speakers and see if the convention has any extras. I don't see that talked about on a lot of your websites, but I've been to homeschool conventions, and it's interesting because if you're wanting childcare, I don't know, the one I went to I don't think offered childcare, but what it did offer, this was really neat, and you're going to want to know about this in a way advance if you're going to want to participate. But they had a lot of homeschool kids who were of the entrepreneurial spirit, and we got to visit those kids' booths. They were all on the second floor. We had kids who had honey, kids who made their own pen. The pen guy was amazing. He did like woodwork, and they were wood pens. They had kids that, you know, the water bottle holders that are made out of cloth. Kids that made those, soaps, an artist that did artwork, all kinds of things. But they were all from homeschool kids. So there's a lot of bonuses, and it's really exciting. The other thing about checking the dates, make sure you go to the website to make sure that people like me who give you the links got those websites right. We can make mistakes. But also, I've seen them where they have the convention, say, from the 3rd to the 5th. And then in little parentheses, they say, Homeschooling 101, attend on the 2nd. It's all for people questioning about homeschooling. So if you're in that place where you're like, gee, I wonder if this is for me, you totally want to show up on the 2nd, and that's not even listed as one of the days for the convention. 2, make a plan. Make a note of all of the speakers or sessions that you want to attend. Once you have identified those workshops, create a schedule for yourself. Almost always, you want to go to 2 different sessions that are happening at the same time. This is why it's so imperative that you plan ahead, because then what you're going to do is you're going to look at their bio and you're going to see they may have a vendor booth. If they both have a vendor booth, you're great. You're going to make sure you have vendor time before you do sessions, and you're going to go and you're going to ask both of them, each individually of course, if they have notes from their talk, and if they can email them to you, or if they have them on site, anything like that, because a lot of them will do that. these are businesses. A lot of them just want your email. You just want that talk. So it works out just fine. If they do not have discussion notes, but the other one did, you're going to go to the one that didn't have the notes, because that way you can take the notes and you're still going to end up getting both of the discussions. Thing to note, the conventions make money off you wanting to go to 2 at the same time. Therefore, you will pay the convention for the recordings of all those sessions. You're going to be spending a lot of money at the convention if you're the typical homeschooling parent. To me, this is something you really don't have to pay for, because all you have to do is go to those vendors and ask for their talks. Like when I'm a vendor and I do my talks, I have those notes. I'm actually having them with this presentation, so you'll be able to get them with this. But so no, I always had those ready. So before you pay for those, go see if you can just get them from the individual vendors that you really wanted to hear their talks. 3, prepare questions. Do this before you go. Take some time to think about the questions that you may have. Be prepared for the questions that you have during the sessions. I noticed a really common topic at the convention I went to was, when I called it in my classroom, it was called classroom management. But things like how to engage the children, how to basically get children to do their work, all of those things that are embroiled in classroom management. Also discussed is things like, what if your child does not learn using a computer, right? So the different learning styles, all of those kind of things. Know what kind of questions you have before you go so that you can be sure to have those questions asked. That way you'll get the most out of the convention that you want. So when I attended a homeschool convention, I went and I looked at all the vendor booths, and I stuck to the writing vendors because I know that topic. I taught writing and I taught it really well. I loved teaching writing. And I noticed that out of 6, I think it was 6 vendors that I stopped at, there was only one that was actually selling a quality homeschool writing curriculum. Only one. And parents were paying upwards of $110 for these really trashy programs that weren't going to help their kids at all. But how would you know that? You as a parent, if you don't know writing, how would you possibly know that? I could not tell you how to choose a quality math program. I don't know math, but I know all about writing. So I developed a checklist just for you, and it has, it has 6 steps that you need to take before you even begin looking for a writing program. And then it has a list of questions that you should ask the vendors. And this will help you weed through to hopefully get a really good program. That's just the checklist. You can get that with this program. It's at the end in the description notes. I also created a video. It's a 20-minute video, and I have the slides, and I walk through, and I give you examples. And that 20-minute video will probably save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars and lots of frustration over the age of your child, because you won't be buying programs that won't really be helping your child. So that is also in the description notes. 4, bring a tote. Okay, this was so interesting when I went the first time, because advertising is a thing. These vendors are there because they want you to buy something. So you're going to get brochures and materials and handouts and freebies galore. And even the convention, they have this opportunity where all the vendors can pay like, I don't know, $300 or something to get something put in a bag. So you're going to have that bag, right? So it's just coming at you from every angle. Then on top of it, you're going to go to these vendor booths and you're going to see things and you're going to be thinking, wow, I totally want this program. And you're going to buy the program, because if you buy on site, you get a huge discount. Great. So now you have all this stuff. The people I saw who were experienced homeschool convention people had rolling luggage. I'm talking the type that you put in the overhead bins in the airplanes. Yep, people were rolling those all around. And this was a normal thing. You didn't look weird. I felt weird because I forgot to even bring a backpack the first time I went. So You're going to want to bring all of that. You're also going to want to bring a journal or a notebook for taking notes, because not only are you going to take notes when you're in these sessions, but if you're comparing different curriculum and you have time, you're going to go to one vendor and you're going to take some notes, and then you're going to go to another one. So it's a good thing to do. 5, no brainer. We are not going for fashion and wearing high-heeled shoes. We are wearing our comfy sneakers, comfy clothes, and layers, because you don't know if it's going to be too hot because there's so many bodies, or if they're just going to crank the air and you're going to freeze to death. Snacks and water. A lot of the convention halls say that you can't have food, but they all have places around that you can eat outside, like if you want to bring your own lunch or that kind of thing, because obviously the food's going to be expensive, assuming that they have food available there. But definitely bring something to get you over the hump of the hangries and keep yourself hydrated. And those would be my hints. Attending a homeschool convention can be inspiring, educational, and you can find a great support system. Hopefully you can make it a priority this year, whether you're just considering homeschooling or you have been homeschooling for years. My movie quote, I had fun finding this one. It's my job to make great students greater, not make mediocre students less mediocre. Dean Hardscrabble with Monsters University. Be sure to get the list of conventions, because I couldn't include all of those in this presentation, but they're right in the description notes for you as well. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.